Hi everyone, Boomer here for Caravel Gaming, and today is a very special day. Not only are we going to be recording some Hearthstone, but also Nax is out this evening as well, or Curse of Naxxramas for those who want the full title. So we're going to blitz through this fairly quickly, aren't we, Maddy? Because we really want to be on Nax very quickly.
Yep. Hey guys.
Okay, so I brought Maddy along because I've been rather mean to Maddy, I think, during his playing of Hex. I think I spent about, 2 hours just calling you out on the same thing regarding a draft in Hex?
Yeah, although, to be honest, it was fair.
However, Maddy's got to get his own back here. So this is me recording a few games of Druid, grinding some gold back, because I left my account pretty much on 0 gold. To move into Hex for a while. However, with Naxxramas, I decided, it's pretty easy to grind 100 gold a day, especially with dailies. So you can just get the each wing of Naxxramas for free, pretty much. Well, free in terms of however you want to call it, and just decided to play some games. Now, I had for today's quests were Druid or Rogue Victory, and I really didn't want to play Miracle Rogue. I just didn't want to do it. And I also had just get 3 wins. So I decided to try a slightly different version of Druid. I don't know how different it is, because how different's any deck in Hearthstone. But this is Amaz or Amaz, his deck that he played at the IEM. I have had to make one change because I don't own a Cairn Bloodhoof. So, because I have a massive hard-on for Ysera, she's in the deck instead.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, the deck's exactly the same. He did say that he felt like the aggro matchup was a little bit poor. To be honest, I think it's better than some versions of Ramp Druid, but obviously it doesn't have like the 1,000,001 taunts that like standard Ramp Druid has. So, if I come up against like either Warlock Zoo or like a very, very fast rush deck, I could definitely be in trouble, I suppose, with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
So just do a quick run through the deck. It's pretty simple. The only cards that really change from standard sort of Rampy Druid are Harvest Golem and Chillwind Yeti. And there is a Ragnaros in the deck. I'm not sure how you feel about him in the metagame at the moment.
Can you go back to the deck list, please?
Yeah, just very quickly. Magic of television.
Because, I want to criticize you on the deck building a little bit. Now, first of all...
Well, first off, it's a copy-paste, so,
Yeah, it's mostly a copy-paste, but the thing is that people generally love to copy tournament decks, and that is a huge mistake, because tournament decks are built in such a way that you want to counter something. Like if you go in a best of 5 tournament where the loser always has to change his deck and the winner keeps his deck, you want stuff that hard counters the opponent's decks. So you want Handlock because that hard counters a lot of things. You want, Face Hunter. Face Hunter is not the best in the current metagame and just in general on ladder. But you want that because it hard counters like maybe Miracle Rogue, Handlock, etc., etc. So those decks are especially designed to counter other decks.
Yeah, the one thing, it was interesting you brought Handlock up there, because I remember you telling me that Handlock's not a particularly successful tournament deck because it wins one game and then gets mashed by whatever counter deck the other guy has.
Yeah, but the general idea of tournaments is that you start off with a universal deck because you don't know what your opponent will bring, and you try to win that matchup. And if you win that matchup, your opponent chooses something, you can hard counter it. Your opponent can choose something, and you can hard counter it. So that's why Handlock is not played as much in tournaments nowadays. But anyway, this deck is pretty much designed versus an anti-control, I think.
Yeah, that was basically his notes that he said. He said he felt like his matchup against control was very strong, but he felt like his matchup against aggro was pretty weak.
Yeah, however, it doesn't really work on the ladder that much because of exactly this reason. So, um, yeah, basically that's what my problem is with the deck. And honestly, I really hate Ysera now. I know it was a like a niche legendary
Oh, I mean,
in
right at the start of the game, yeah, it was
yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
It was basically Ysera and Ragnaros were pretty much the two power legendaries.
Yeah, the problem with this era is that if you don't have an inner weight in hand, you cannot do anything else on the turn. Now, in today's environment, with Zoo out, with Miracle Rogue out, with other aggressive or mid-range decks out, you just can't have a turn where you do nothing. Because Isera, yes, it gives you card advantage for 9 mana, and it gives you a 4/12, which is awesome, but you cannot do anything else on the turn. And against Miracle Rogue, a free turn is the Miracle Rogue's win. Against Zoo, it's a win.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect to get to 9 mana against Miracle Rogue a lot of the
Yeah,
time.
that's another thing, but and
The
it's
other,
also that card in your hand for so often. So I'd actually not use Isera, especially in a Druid deck which has a lot of great creatures.
I mean, the other side of that is that at the moment I don't. I mean, obviously Miracle Rogue has sap, but Ysera's very hard to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's sort of the other side of it, and just sort of spoiler alert, that does come into play. But that's probably due to where I am on the ladder because this is literally my third day this season of playing, and by day playing I mean like an hour. So it's not like I'm at level 3 or something like that trying to get to legendary with this deck because I just wouldn't try.
Also, just a couple of more things.
Yeah.
I think one Ancient of War in this deck is pretty bad.
Do you think it
Because
should be 2, or do you think it should be none?
I think it either should be 2 or none. Because the thing is that the current meta that was created by Strife Crew, and there are generally a lot of Tone Druids in that, not necessarily Ram Druid because it doesn't have the Nourish, so it's not really a ramp. But yeah, the thing is that
Don't worry about that. I just had to because I spent ages going over the deck, and then all of a sudden Hearthstone fell over. So just had to reload, and I'm up against a mage. I mean, if you saw a mage these days, what would you suspect? I mean, I'd probably be thinking freeze, but there are
yeah,
aggro
I
mages.
think Freeze Mages, since ID Uswin is pretty popular.
What do you actually think here on this side? Do you actually just go straight for the turn 2 Druid here, or especially with Harvest Golem as backup, or do you be a little bit more careful about what you're thinking here?
Now, with top decking the Harvest Golem, I would have definitely played the Harvest Golem. I don't
Just
think.
innovate out a Harvest Golem turn 1.
Yeah. Because you can coin out the Harvest Golem turn 2 and give it Mark of the Wild, or you can just Wild Growth. So
Now,
that's
this
always
is
good. But see how messed up your curve is because you didn't innervate the
Now
Harvest
that was the
Golem.
thing. I actually, at this point, I started thinking, "Oh God," because there's so many things I can do. 'Cause this is one of the few instances where you actually have like 5 different things you can do on turn 2.
Also, just a quick note before we go on: keeping Mark of the Wild in the Mulligan is an awful play.
Did I keep it? Oh, I did keep it. Yeah.
I think you did keep the Mark of the Wild, and it's not really good because for one Mark of the Wild in this deck is for 2 reasons: Big Game Hunter and Black Knight.
Yeah.
And against aggro, it's good to do it on your Harvest Golem or your Keeper of the Grove, but it's not an aggro matchup, or at least we don't know that it's a. And also, you didn't have anything; you had an inner weight, so yeah, keeping that is not the best because you want minions. Like Druid struggles with early game, so you want to have all the Wild Growth you can have, all the inner weights you can have, and probably Harvest Golems and maybe Yetis.
Yeah.
But Yetis only if you know it's going to be a slow matchup. So actually like a coin Yeti or something is good for you.
So now I've got a real decision on what to do here. So we can go over our options. The first is just hero powering in. I don't think that's right at all. The second option's coin out a Harvest Golem.
Yeah.
The third option is just to go all in pretty much and go for the turn 2 Druid of the Claw.
Yeah.
And then there's just cast Wild Growth and pass.
I personally go for the Wild Growth plan because he didn't play anything turn 1 and turn 2. So he's probably not an aggro player.
Yeah, it looks like Control Mage to me at this point. Or like,
yeah, and then the Wild Growth gives you a constant mana advantage, which means, let's assume he's a Freeze Mage. That means that you can power out your stuff one turn earlier.
Yeah.
So he has to deal with them one turn earlier, and if you're lucky, he cannot draw that much with like the Arcane Intellects and the Acolyte Pings and all that. And two, maybe he won't even have time to play his Ice Block before you can pull out the combo, because he has to deal with your board constantly.
Yeah. Okay, I think I go over what I can do quite a bit in over the course of this, but I think I actually come to the same conclusion you do, which is I just cast Wild Growth and pass.
Yeah.
It's basically I just want more mana all the time, basically.
Yeah.
It's like I can make a Druid of the Claw next turn with the coin if necessary. The other thing I can potentially do is coin out a... I can make a Druid of the Claw, then follow it up with Harvest Golem. Again, awkward point. I mean, I act a little bit too quickly here, I think, for me. My guess, I think, at this point was I don't want to get blown out by that secret. If it's a Druid of the Claw and I throw... if it's a mirror image and I throw a Druid of the Claw down, that feels really bad. Although having said that, though, is mirror image used a lot in secret decks? I mean, I really am not too familiar with secret decks. I'd have thought Counterspell and probably Spellbender were absolutely nailed on, and like Ice Block's probably nailed on as well.
Yeah, I think your thought process is right. I think like Secret Mages definitely play the mirror image. Now the Kirin Mage was played in some of the Freeze Mage decks as well, just because they give you a tempo advantage.
So I think I'm just going for the Harvest Golem here, because that's probably the... Having said that, though, giving him a Harvest Golem isn't great either, but...
No, but you can deal with it. You have the swipe as well, so it's not a big issue. The only thing is that it's going to die, so next turn you're gonna have to Harvest Golem hero power.
Yeah.
So like, wow, what is he doing?
Yeah, that felt like a waste.
Yeah, that was definitely a waste.
He just spent a card in his entire turn to deal with a 2/3.
But at least we know he's not Freeze Mage, because a Freeze Mage would never ever waste a card like that. Oh no.
Yeah.
Wrath and Harvest Golem.
Yeah.
That was acted too quickly. Like addressing a 4/3, you won't get better value out of Wrath unless you have a spell trick. So.
Pretty much, will you? I actually I think that's what I was think that's one thing I might have been worried about. You can actually see me throwing the coin there. Because it's not mirror image, my number one thought was Counterspell at that point. So if I'd have gone for... I think that if I was going to go for the Wrath, I should probably test with the coin first to see if it is Counterspell.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, it might be Spellbender, which screws with your plan, but the thing is that you still get the secret out.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I wouldn't coin here at all.
But then again, now that I have coined, if this isn't Counterspell, my options are sort of twofold here. Because that narrows it down to two secrets at that point. It's either Ice Block or it's Spellbender.
Yeah.
So my options are...
Well, or Vaporize or
Vaporize?
Ice Block. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Like if he's a real secret mage, which is, pretty uncommon, but yeah, then he probably plays all the secrets.
Yeah.
Or maybe just one or two less.
So my thought here was that if the coin gets countered, that's fine. If it doesn't, I can either use the mana to innovate out Harvest Golem, or I can potentially Wrath. It really depends how it comes out.
But then I would use the Innervate first. If you want to Wrath, I wouldn't waste an additional mana by just coining. Yeah. So, and I see no point of playing the Harvest Golem at the moment. So,
okay, I think that's what my plan ended up being at this point. I probably should. I'm not even sure if I just let the mana go at this point. Yeah, I ended up making the Harvest Golem there. I'm not even sure if I should just let the mana for the coin go once I use it there to try and test for counterspell. Having said that though, because because it could be Spellbender now, I really have to be careful about Wrath.
Yeah,
Well,
you do, but I think if you don't play
Mark of the Wild first, can I? It's like, oh, give you a 3/5. How good's that? It's like,
yeah, but I think if you don't play a single secret in Secrets Mage, then you don't play Spellbender. Because it's just too situational, and I mean it combos well with the 3/3 that gets +2/+2 every time you have a secret up, but yeah.
Okay,
and see how good that coin would have been here.
Yeah. So thoughts on this point? Do you just ram in with the Harvest Golem, hit his 4/3 with the Harvest Golem, and use the use hero power to kill it, or do you vaporize with your Harvest Golem?
I definitely test for Vaporize first, because that test for 2 secrets, Ice Block, is definitely a secret that can be had here. And the other thing is that there's a new secret out, so it may even be Mirror Image.
I don't think it was out at this point, but...
What do you mean?
I don't think the new secret was out at this point, but...
No, not the Nextremas new secret, just a new secret for the mage.
So I test
that's first. That's nice.
There. So we're looking now, there's 2 secrets there. Odds are Counterspell may very well be one of them.
Spellbender might be, other Ice Block could be the third, and Mirror Image. So we're down to 4. We know that the first one is not Counterspell, so that can only be 2 things.
Yeah.
The Ice Block. But it would be silly, in my opinion, to waste Ice Block before you can play the Arcanist. I think it's called like Ethereal Arcanist, or is that
yeah, I know which one you mean.
Yeah, so the 3/3 that gains +2/+2. It would be silly to play that before, silly to play Ice Block before you play that. So, I mean, Spellbender, really.
I think it's probably Spellbender. I think at this point I actually
I'd assume it's Ice Block, and my opponent is just silly.
Okay.
I'd go for the rat anyway, because, you know, I mean, we've got one for 1 hour.
For Mark of the Wild first. That would be really... Oh, wow, I actually go for it. And it has the second one's Counterspell, and it turns out I'm incredibly lucky, because that one's Spellbender.
Yeah. Actually, the resolving... it's pretty weird, because I think Spellbender should have redrawed first.
Although, is Mark of the Wild a creature you control, so therefore Spellbender doesn't work on it? But it's not a legal target.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, Counterspell triggers first, and Spellbender for... Yeah, okay, I see now.
And again, options here. Do I just go straight to the face, or do I kill the Kirintor?
I think you go for the face, because last turn he didn't deal with your 4/6, which he could have done with a fireball. So there is basically no problem.
There's no way he's dealing with it without top decking something or killing his. Yeah. So I come to the same conclusion: hit him in the face, and then hit him in the face again for good measure. So, I mean, we got rid of both secrets. It did cost us 2 cards, but it wasn't as devastating as it could have been.
Yeah.
And currently the way is clear for Ancient of Law. I hate that card.
It's not that bad.
Yeah. Put it this way, it's getting swiped.
Yeah, that's for sure. And he gets lucky with the missiles.
Yeah.
He would have been in serious trouble. Yeah. Oh, I'd actually...
Yeah, this one's...
You've got to swipe that.
I've got to swipe it. I can't let him have that in a secret deck. He's just going to draw way too many cards on me. I'm trying to think of, like, is there a way I can do this slightly differently? And the answer's no. Just kill the damn thing. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like that thing is seriously ridiculous in these decks. So.
Yeah, but you can see that by misusing the coin, the inner fate, several times, how
we've not got Ancient of Law on the battlefield and 2 cards in hand.
Yeah, that's one thing, and the other is that how messed up your mana is at the moment. So yeah, that's probably getting silenced.
Yeah, who'd have thunk? Yeah. Woo, don't do 2 damage.
Yeah, so at this point we're on hardcore FaceTime.
Yeah.
Because we actually cannot raise his cards, probably, in the long term. So we have to raise them in the short.
Yep.
Like, in this matchup, he's definitely the control deck, so...
Yeah.
And he's playing a weird combination. Well, it's Freeze Mage for sure now. No, it's Secrets Mage.
It's
I'm
some
an
sort
idiot.
of weird hybrid between Secret
Yeah,
Mage
it's weird. And he even played the Secret Keeper and 2-3 instead of pinging your 2-1, which is, once again, really bad. Like, you just trade off with the 1-2.
Really? I'm actually contemplating taking the Mana Worm out here. Because he's only got 2 cards in hand, so to me the Mana Worm's a lot more threatening.
Oh yeah, you have
Secret
9 mana,
Keeper.
sure.
Yeah.
You have 9 mana. Yeah, that's fine. I just go ahead and draw cards at this point.
Yeah.
Because by healing yourself, you're not going to win this game. You're going to win this game by drawing into the combo or drawing into a Mark of the Wild. Oh no, you already used that.
Yeah. Some dudes. Now, the thing, I don't think I'm going to be able to put myself in a position where I'm not just super vulnerable to Flame Strike here. But...
I don't think you can put yourself in a position where you're not losing this game. If he's clever. Like, yeah, he has to ping that, and if he doesn't have a secret. If he has a secret, he should have just buffed the...
And a 4 mana,
guy.
3/3.
5 mana even? Is it just 4 mana?
4 mana, no, the Arcanist is 4 mana. So, Drake, let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
I guess I just Drake... Well, again, thoughts in my head are... I think the Flame Strike blows me out here if he has it or not, so I think I'm just better making a second Drake rather than a Yeti. Although a Yeti, I suppose, makes him attack in a certain way.
The Drake might make him attack in a... So I don't think in terms of trading it's different. It's more like that you might need it as your Drake for your next swipe.
Yeah.
You might need... Whoa, Maligos. Okay.
Yeah. And now watch me make a monstrous mistake here.
You're not facelessing the Maligos.
Yeah, exactly.
But watch him make a hideous mistake. Like, why would you ever do that?
So if I face this Manipulator swipe here, that might be a good thing, but no, I just completely blank. And
yeah.
I really did at this point just totally blank because I just saw Malygos and went, oh shit.
Why would you ever hit the Maligos there?
Yeah, I know, he's on 14. That's the thing. It's one of those things where you sort of... You just see something, go, oh crap, and just don't see what's
Admit
happening.
it, man, you tilted. Yeah. That's it.
Well, yeah, you're on some because my first thought was just, oh shit, I've got to deal with that Malygos, rather than just going, my opponent's on 14 life. The best he can do is like Pyroblast. He can Pyroblast me and kill me. But, and at this point, again, just go straight for his dome. If he's got, well... I suppose I'm dead with a fireball here, so... Yeah,
but you would have had lethal this turn if you faceless swiped last turn, and...
Yeah, exactly. It was a mess, basically, and I just followed through on the plan and kill Malygos here, again, not seeing the... Oh, I go for the Wild Growth first, I might as well.
Yeah, you draw first, that's cool.
Oh, and there goes Malygos, and there goes his Harrison Jones as well.
Yeah.
So got incredibly lucky.
Also, just another mistake, as your Drake should have stayed on the board, because now you could have drawn a card by pinging him for 2.
Wrathing and pinging it, yeah.
Yeah, so it should have stayed on the board before you drew a card, but that's not the biggest mistake.
No, I'm making terrible.
Well, it really is, because...
But again, this is like the first...
You play the cantrip card as a non-cantrip card, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, said that, though, a lot of the time I do just use Wrath as a I think the play here is just make 2 5/10s, right? Oh, I can't do that. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you can do that. The only problem is that if you have, yeah, let's just make the 5/10 because if he has mirror image out, you can
that
just
was it.
Black
Yeah,
Knight.
that
You
was
can
it.
just Black Knight your ancient
See,
core.
this was the actual other side of it. My thought on that point, I decided to go Faceless Manipulator first here. Mainly because if it was mirror image, I can just kill it with hero power. So that was my run at that. That was my thought at that point. I don't even think I make a 5/10 here. I think I just armor up and hit him. Mainly because I don't even think I can't get out of Fireball Pyroblast range, can I? So I'm not even. I don't really like.
Yeah,
that.
but he can't play Fireball Pyroblast on one turn, so.
Yeah, but I can only go up to 16. That's the issue. Okay, so he goes to. So that puts me on no. I think he sheeps my 4/1 this turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty desperate at this point. He doesn't want to lose his ice block or whatever.
Well, that's the thing, because next turn he would lose his ice block and then he'd be on 1. So. Could have healed up there, maybe? Or do you think the 2 cards...
I would have healed up there. I mean, you have card advantage, you have board advantage, you have everything you need, and you don't need cards. The only thing you need is not to be blown out by double Pyroblast or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Back-to-back Pyroblast or, you know, like double Fireball or Frostblast Ice Lance with spell power or some crazy combo like that.
I mean, I imagine he has all those cards in his deck just because he looks like a pure control
Not necessarily.
No.
He had some pretty interesting cards. That's fine if you draw your big game hunter.
Like
and
that,
there it is.
Like that, you
Yeah.
mean?
Yep, exactly.
Dead. Am I going to make a 5/10 here finally at some point? Looks like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it all like trembles back to that opening, to that opening decision. You know, where not using the innovate and the coin properly just screwed up the curve.
Oh, there is the poor man's Thanos.
Thought he was going to hit the Ancient of Law 4 times then and just ping it off. Be like, you're funny, dude. You really are. Well, I guess just put him as low as possible here.
Yeah.
That's not the way to do it, but never mind.
Yeah, that was really bad. You want to put him at 1 because you want him to be afraid of hero powering.
Yeah.
As well.
I just take out his spell power guy here.
So, like, let's say he draws Arcane Intellect into... wow, what would be? Arcane Intellect into Polymorph and...
Fireball?
Arcane... Oh, yeah,
Explosion, yeah.
Or Arcane Explosion, and then pings your 4/2, you can't kill him this turn. Well, you can because with the Force of Nature or the Druid, but the thing is, if he casts and discard all your card spells...
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't Hex, there's no discard spells.
Yeah, I know, it's just...
Discard would be hideously broken in this game.
Yeah, it would be.
Which I'm actually thinking is probably something that the heroes in Nax probably do.
No, I
hero
don't think...
powers like 3, discard a card.
Oh, the heroes of Nax, yeah, maybe.
Because they all have the unique abilities, don't they? So, and they all have stupid spiders. Oh, Pally.
Yeah, Pally is pretty easy to beat with most Druid decks, except if it's Shokadin. If it's Shokadin, then we have a problem. But Shokadin is felt really out of favor.
What do you think of this hand? Do you keep it, or do you throw back something?
I think I keep one Keeper of the Grove. I still want my ramp cards because, you know, if he's aggro, I need the Keeper for sure. Wow, not throw back one Keeper, keep one Keeper.
Oh. And obviously get a Ysera, and so like, please don't be shocking in.
The thing is that Druid's quote-unquote gadgets on Auctioneer is Wild Growth.
Yeah.
So you want to have that. Now the only problem is that gadgets on Auctioneer can be drawn in the first 6 turns,
Yeah.
while Wild Growth can be really grown in the first 2 turns.
Yeah.
So, and you really want that because that's going to give you the advantage that, you're on 5 mana, I'm on 7 mana, and I'm going to pop out an Ancient of War that you can deal with 6 mana because the game is not designed that way that you can deal with it on 6 mana.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the general idea of the Druid. Even, we can call every Druid Ram Druid basically because they all have D4 Ram cards.
Yeah, it's on
and...
It was like the only one that, like, something that was designated real ramp druid was like that had nourish as well, right? Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I'm just popping watermelons here while our opponent just forgets that he hasn't passed the turn. There we go. And there's actually one reason that I like rampy druid decks a little bit better than token druid decks, because they only play one savage raw. And every time I play Token Druid, I draw both Savage Raws in the top 5 cards. I'm like, well, I've just mulliganed twice, effectively. I go for a Yeti there. I think that's okay, anyway.
I think that's okay as well, because you have a pretty decent curve in your hand, except for Ysera. And, you just want... You don't need the Wild Growth, and if you don't need the Wild Growth because you have the solution for all the turns, basically.
Well, that's awkward.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, but you can... No...
I mean, I can't mark it in Big Game Hunter because I don't have the mana,
that's
so
1 mana off.
I can mark my Yeti and hit him and kill it, but that leaves my Yeti at 6-2, but I think that's the decision I end up taking.
I think that's better.
And do I just wild growth here with the spare mana and pass the turn.
Yeah, Wild Growth is probably good because next turn you can play the Keeper and the Harvest Golem, so you can silence something and rat it like if he plays his own Harvest Golem. Oh, look! Or other stuff like that.
I mean, what's your play here with that? Do you just silence the Harvest Golem?
And rat it, yeah. And I for sure not trade with the 2/2. He can't buff it to a point where it survives Ariati.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have Consecration, then he has a free 2/2. Congratulations.
I always take a quick second just to make sure I've got that right. Deal 3 damage to a minion.
Yep.
I'm still thinking here. Oop, back it goes. I'm just trying to plan out the turn to see if there's anything decent I can do here.
No, I mean, your only 2 options are Hero Power and that, and you definitely want to deal that 6 to the Palace, so...
The problem is, don't do that, do that. Yeah, there we go. From playing Magic and Hex for all those times, the thing, but I might need it later, really crawls into your mind. It's like, Hearthstone doesn't play like Magic. It's pretty much all about now. Because once
that's actually a thing that for me as a Hearthstone player in Hex is really really hard to control, is that I have a mana for something and there is a somewhat good use for it. Yeah, I for sure will do it. And that's just not the mindset. Yeah.
And then you get people like me going, "What the hell?"
Yeah. Whoa, Nat Bagel. Haven't seen that guy in a while.
Yep. Oh well, here's my version, I guess.
Yep. That was actually a pretty lucky top deck.
Yeah.
Although you could have top decked half your deck and it would have been, all of them would have been a pretty lucky top deck.
Yeah.
And you got the Laughing Sister reversed card.
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, don't have equality. Don't have equality.
But he just used the Consecration, so...
Yeah, I mean, he could have Wild Pyro as well.
Or just sack his Net Bagel, like trade a Net Bagel for Ysera, and there's not a lot of better. So now you have to top deck your Black Knight and then we're fine.
What, you mean like that?
Come on, man.
All skill, this game.
Yeah.
And I just decide to kill Nat Pagal before it gives him any advantage.
Yeah, also that means that, naked equality doesn't kill your Sierra, which is pretty good.
Yep. And I get a Nightmare. Okay.
Nightmare's pretty good because if he has heal cards in his deck, he probably won't see the lethal coming.
Yeah.
Like Savage
also a pretty good
Shore and Nightmare is actually... What's that now? That's 8, 10, 12, 17 damage. So you can push out 17 damage just the next turn.
It's also good with Big Game Hunter if he makes like a
that's a nice.
You can kill Tyrion with it. Although he does get Ashbringer, you can still kill a Tyrion with it.
Yeah, but if you don't have the silence effect, you just want to kill Tyrion anyway. Like you're fine him damaging himself.
Yeah. I actually think I make a boo-boo here. Not attacking, that's fine, but it's... I
would rather attack with the Serra than the Black Knight, because Black Knight actually becomes to a meaningfully low health.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake, because now I just get boned by equality at this point.
No, the boned by equality is not a problem. He would have paid equality every single turn that you had the Serra out. The problem is that you have the Savage Roar in hand, you have the Nightmare in hand, you want to kill him as fast as possible. Yeah. So you need to play the Harvest Golem and the Laughing Sister. Maybe even a naked Big Game Hunter, just to have the board advantage. Yeah. Well, you can do that because that's 9 mana, but the thing is that at this point you want to go for the lethal next turn, because you have lethal next turn if you play those 2 cards, and not the 5/10, and obviously top deck equality.
Yeah, but he doesn't have anything to go with it, so my creatures are still there.
Yeah,
that's awkward. Sort of. I guess I'm going to have to bust out Big Game Hunter for this one.
Not necessarily.
I could awaken and then hero power down the Guardian.
Not hero power. Sack the 4/1 in. Sack the 4/1 in. I'd actually go for that play.
Yeah. Oh, right. I think I went Nightmare Big Game Hunter.
That's fine as well. It's just actually your hand is really bursty at the moment. You have a lot of little guys. You have Awakens. You have Nightmare. You have Savage, or you want to kill him.
Yeah.
It's not about controlling the board anymore. He can't control the board in one turn, especially that he's playing 1 equality and 1 consecration. We know he doesn't have a second equality, so he can't wipe Pyro equality. He can still wipe Pyro heal or something, but even then, you just want to go for the next
point, I'm actually thinking with the... I mean, obviously I'm thinking about the kill, but I was thinking, it'd be really cool to pick your Sarah up and put her back down just to be a dick. All the same with Black Knight, obviously, if he makes a taunt, it's just like, and kill it.
Well, if he makes a taunt, you just Dream and Savage Roar his taunt. So you have lethal next turn, basically no matter what he does, unless he heals a ridiculous amount and puts up a taunt or something.
Yeah, if you like
is lethal.
Yeah, if you like lays on hands and puts up a taunt or something, that's thing. Now, obviously, I take a bit of time over this, just thinking, just milking it. No, it's really because it's been a long time since I played Hearthstone, so I'm really not used to thing going together, just making sure my...
I admit it, you were BMing him.
No, I don't BM. I'm not like you. I even well played after I've killed them.
Yeah. I generally do that as well. I don't like the
preemptive GGs.
Yeah, the preemptive GGs or the tanks. Tanks become really popular in the last...
Having said that, though, it's like... I don't think it's so bad in Hearthstone because your opponent can't do anything about it. If you've got him dead, you've got him dead. Whereas I think that in a game like Magic, if your opponent's got cards in hand, doing a preemptive GG can only end badly.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're right, you look like a if you're right, you look like a dick, and if you're wrong, you
look like a dick.
You look like a proper dick. Then. Oh wow, my 7 and 9 drop against a hunter. This looks good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, he didn't coin anything out, so we're okay.
The thing is, hunters may have a hard time going through your tones, and also you can heal yourself with the lures.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have
if he
that.
turns out to be an aggro hunter, I wouldn't even consider throwing with the lords, like ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not much going on there. So it looks like he's mid-range hunter if we're...
Well, I mean, turn 2, because of mana efficiency, is generally hero power with the hunter, because they don't have a good turn 2 play. No 2 mana really aggro creatures.
Yeah, they only have the buzzard and the... they only have the buzzard and the guy, don't they?
Not sure what you got, what guy you mean, but...
The buzzard and... Unleash the Hounds is 3 now, I keep forgetting.
Yeah, it's 3.
I mean, some of them did play Scavenging Hyena as well. They've got Scavenging Hyena as well, but again,
not in
a
aggro.
Yeah.
Not in aggro.
No, I was thinking more in mid-range.
Okay, so now that he made this second animal companion, we're pretty sure he is like mid-range hunter or sunshine hunter or something like that.
So what's your thoughts here? We do have a couple of options. We can just kill his 2/4 with creatures and deal him no damage. We can make a druid in charge mode and hit his 2/4. We can also wrath it and hero power it and hit him for 4. Or we could just innovate out Ancient of War and take the risk, but that seems very risky.
The thing that is that you have pretty nice board control in your hand, so you don't necessarily, like with the Argent Commander and the Charging Druid of the Claw, and, you know, Ysera comes down on turn 7 maybe. Actually, Ysera comes down on turn 7, so I want to bait his Hunter's Marks and all that. So I think I go ahead and use the Druid of the Claw in charge mode and, you know, try to bait his Unleash the Hounds.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I wouldn't go above 3 creatures on a board when your opponent's board is
that's
empty.
pretty much the rule when you're playing against a hunter, isn't it? You don't go above 3 creatures, and really you should try and make it to... Why am I hero powering? Get away from that. Yeah, there we go.
No, actually, Red Hero Power is an absolutely viable play.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to draw cards on turn 7 rather than Ysera.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
The problem is that he generally plays with like 3 removals, 2 Hunter's Marks, and Deadly Shot. Deadly Shot is not going to do anything to Ysera probably, or just, you know, with a really small chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, we baited the turn 5 combo, so that's awesome for us.
I cack up my positioning here, I think, in a bit. Oh, no, it's alright. Yep, sure. That's just for me why Harvest Golem's nuts against. And it's like,
yeah.
Thoughts? No, don't. I don't think I need to do that. I'm not even sure why I did that either. But hey.
I think that's fine because, you know, you don't want a lot of minions on the board against Hunter. You just want strong minions.
Yeah.
And that's fine as well.
I guess I figure that I am quite far ahead at this point, so you know he can like start dropping things out. But Argent Commander is very hard to actually, you know, it's hard to trade with.
Yeah. Also, if you do it either with the 4/2 or with the 2/4, Explosive Trap actually blows you out.
Yeah.
A little bit, so it's not the best.
So he nuts my Argent Commander, which is pretty awesome because I have Wrath and Ancient of Law this turn, but...
You have Wrath and Faceless, and that's not lethal yet. Okay.
No. I mean, also, I cock up my positioning here. I'll just say...
On the other hand, I probably just trade and put his Ysera out.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely the other option. I cock up here. It should go to the left, not to the right.
It doesn't matter. No Hunter plays with Explosive Trap.
Really?
Yeah. Does he?
Yes. I actually do get Explosive Trapped here.
Or not trap
Explosive
shot.
shotted, yeah.
That's actually pretty weird, but yeah. Generally, you just shouldn't care about positioning versus Hunter. If they play Explosive Shot, you're probably gonna win anyway. Okay,
Using many spells to kill my guys. Which is a bit... I'm actually tempted to just make a blank...
And once again, mana usage.
Yeah,
sorry.
I might tempted to just make a blank Faceless and mark it up here, but...
Actually, you're 1 mana off lethal.
Yeah. Because my other plan was swipe Savage Roar at that... You know, swipe Savage Roar.
Why would you ever do that?
Do that? No, I don't know either.
Like the blank faceless is better than
Yeah,
display.
I thought the blank faceless would have been fine
Like
there. To tell you
next
the
turn,
truth.
it doesn't matter if you are on 9 or 10 because from your hand you will play swipe, savage, or hero power, and that's 9. So, yeah, that's not good. Or actually, you don't even need the hero power. So you want that card as a draw spell because if you have to use your savage draw for some reason and everything, you want to draw with wild growth.
Yeah.
So you just faceless.
Or
Yeah,
just kill it.
that's fine. No, I'd faceless the 2/5 just for good measures. You know, like I'm gonna kill you with your own minion because you were stupid enough to play it and not play around faceless manipulator. I wouldn't have had lethal otherwise.
Actually, you could have played Faceless Manipulator Savage Roar and just gone for like all kinds of lethal. It's like, I think... No, yeah, that wouldn't have been work. Yeah, it would actually. Faceless Manipulator Savage Roar Hero Power would have been...
Yeah,
and that would have used all 10 mana as well.
Power.
That would have used all 10 mana as well, so the thing last turn would have been fine.
So basically, you turn 8 wild growth just to BM your opponent even more.
Well, that's got to be...
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's Warlock, so you basically have to mulligan to assume that it's Zoo, don't you, pretty much?
Yeah.
So.
Although you probably want kind of the same cards against Handlock, except for Big Game Hunter.
Yeah.
Now let's see if you go for the coin wild growth play.
I think I do, actually, here.
Yeah, since you have a 3-drop, it's fine.
Yeah. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have Harvest Golem in hand.
I might have done it with the Rat in hand though, just because.
You want it up the next turn.
Yeah. I mean, if he's
and he's
a Zoo with a terrible starting hand,
he could be Zoo with a god awful start.
Oh, and at the moment it turns out his handlock, you draw the Big Game Hunter. Like, rig your deck more, please. I mean.
I've also
you
got
just need the
Faceless.
silence card now. Let's see the keeper. Here's the keeper. No, the keeper comes next turn. Okay.
Yeah. Just hit him in the face and just pass the turn.
Yeah.
Well, that's dying.
Yeah. Here comes the bad news.
Yeah. We have some bad news for you. I got tempted by being super greedy there, but...
And I would have played the wild growth.
I should have wild growth there, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that a lot of your deck is 7 drops.
Yeah.
And not a lot of them is 6 drops, so you want your next top deck to matter because your hand doesn't.
Yeah, and there's the meta, there's the meta squelch.
Also, just out of it's interesting that I think I haven't counted, but I think you have lethal if you if you play wild growth last turn and top deck Force of Nature, because you have the Innervate Force of Nature Savage Draw
as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you definitely have the lethal.
So I have exactly 20. Oh no, I have 24 actually.
You have.
Yeah, I have.
You have 26.
26, yeah.
Oh no, 24. 24. No, you're right.
So I would actually have had him dead if I'd top deck Force of Nature next turn. Watch me top deck Force of Nature now.
But it's not because of Force of Nature, really. It's because of the 3/7 drops you have in the deck, the 1/9 drop that can be innervated out. So you have basically at least 4 cards that you don't want to draw this turn. See, that's one of them.
Yeah.
So you didn't want to draw that. Your play is literally nothing this turn.
Yeah.
And
do I innervate it out? That wastes a mana, but
yeah, that wastes a mana. I would innervate it out, but.
Oh, and there's the Force of Nature. Now I've used the innervate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, innervate doesn't matter. You just have to keep the board position. Okay, silence is his own for 5. Wow. Yeah, he has Mortal Coil.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he would have done that otherwise.
Yeah.
So now I'm still counting. I'm like, well, you're dead in a couple of turns, dude. So
no, and he actually taps down to 40.
I'm
which
actually
is a huge
stopping.
mistake.
I'm stopping DPS now. Because
Actually, stopping DPS is not the best thing because he can heal, and yeah, like you don't want him to heal out.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm actually going to drop another harvest golem, so it's basically a case where he needs like sweeper, removal spell. I'm putting a lot of pressure on what he's, I'm putting a lot of pressure on what he has to have with 7 mana here.
yeah, that's
And also it
absolutely.
means he can't go like Molten Giant Defender of Argus. He has lost a Molten Giant to Soulfire.
Yeah.
But, it's just so he can't taunt, so he can't... I mean, I suppose he can go Mountain Giant, but he's also used one of those. So it's like I'm putting a lot of pressure on what he has to have in hand here.
Well, he probably should just go for the Twilight Drake and taunt it up, but I'm not sure if he still has the coin or... Oh no, we were the ones that had the coin. Wow, that was the silliest Hellfire in the history of Hearthstone. I see why he did that, but no.
Yeah.
Like, you even fight growth on turn 8. Why would you ever fight growth on turn 8
Oh,
if
and
you
he
don't
lost
have...
his Leroy as well. And this guy I am going to preemptive GG because he was a scumbag for the whole game.
Yeah, so...
And then I get the friend request. Bottom left, I got the friend
Oh,
request.
please tell me you accepted. I want to see this guy, friend.
No, I didn't.
What an uninteresting ending to the video. Boomer didn't accept the friend request.
So that's going to be it for this video, guys, because number 1, we want to go off and play hacks, and 2, that went hacks, knacks even, and that was a little bit longer.
That was Freud. That was Freud in a nutshell.
Well, I suppose with some of those top decks, you've got to say hacks at that point.
Yeah.
So overall, I agree with what you were saying. I think that the deck's built to be a tournament deck. I was just lucky I didn't run into anything that was like balls to the wall aggro. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that's a loss on the wall. Other than that, I think the deck's pretty strong against mid-range and control, but it's, as we've said, it's aggro game. It only has how many taunts? It has like 1 Ancient of War, which costs 1 billion.
And 2 Drakes.
Yeah.
Or no Drakes, Druid.
2 Druid of the Claws, yeah. And like, what if you decide to use a Mark of the Wild on your own guy, so... It's not got that much in terms of taunt. It's like, I think, doesn't traditional ramp druid have like 8 or 9 or something like that? It has a ton.
Well, not necessarily traditional, but yeah, some have up to 8.
Yeah, and the ones with Scenarius as well, that's like more taunts as well on that side. So, yeah, I would say overall it's a fun deck. Druids are always quite fun because you're just making huge things. But I think I would steer clear of it on the ladder. He says after 4-0ing on video, but I think if you were making a serious attempt at running
this deck, I think actually Druid is one of the best decks or the best deck to ladder with.
Which version would you actually take if you wanted to ladder?
Something that's a little bit more towards the goal, or basically in the meta. Like, it's either all tones Druid, like the Strife Crow version, or I think Charge Druid is actually really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll have to look up a listing for Charge Druid at some point.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. I think you can do it with the cards you have, so...
Yeah, I mean, the ones I don't have, the big ones I don't have are like Ken and Scenarius for being a Druid. I don't think that... Druids play Sylvanas or anything like that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, next cards are out, so I think this discussion actually is not relevant at all. Let's just finish up the video.
Just because you want to go and play Nax anyway. Well, so do I actually. So we'll see you later, guys. Thanks very much for watching.
See ya.